So we're at the top of the hour here. Thanks everyone for joining JASCI's webinar series that we do weekly. For those that don't know me, I'm James Gibson, one of the solutions account managers here at JASCI. We're also joined with Joe Rist. Joe, would you like to make an introduction?
Yeah, sure. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to our webinar series. Happy Friday and soon to be weekend. We thank you all for joining us. And today we will be going through some e-commerce outbound kind of a, day in the life of using JASCI. What somebody looks at as they're signing in and seeing how the orders look and what they can do to help, make sure that you're getting all the orders out on time, picked properly, resolving any troubles. So we're very excited to show that today. I think a few of our webinars in the past have been more focused on individual processes. This one will be kind of all-encompassing on the outbound side of e-commerce. If you haven't met me before, I'm Joe Rist. I'm the Director of Solution Sales here at JASCI, and I'll be bringing you through this webinar today. So if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the chat, and we'll try to answer them in real time. And if you have questions at the end, or maybe you're not watching this live and you want to send some questions to JASCI, at a separate time, you're more than welcome to reach out to James or myself, or find us on the website. But let's go ahead and get started. All right. So, James, did you have anything you wanted to show
I think
before we
we're
jump in today?
I think we're good to start going here, Joe, if you're ready.
All right, cool. So I'll go ahead and share my screen. And if you could just confirm that it's sharing.
Yep, I can see that.
Okay, great. So, like many of our webinars, we're going to be keeping the same style where we have the full screen application of JASCI kind of taking up the majority of the screen. And then if you look over to the right-hand side, you'll see we have a mobile device and we got to get logged into both. So, we're going to go ahead and show you the process here. So, I actually just popped up a new environment. JASCI has a very powerful tool to create new um, tenancies or environments with our base model. So I'm going to go ahead and sign into the one that I've created. And this is going to load everything onto the screen that we first see, which is our dashboard and our menu profile assignment. So if you've seen some of our previous webinars, we've gone into our dashboard and reporting tool, and we've also explained the navigation of JASCI, how you can navigate between these different menu profiles and the menu options within them, and everything else that you see here on the screen, like our language swap and our learning center. So today, since we're kind of doing like a day in the life of type of webinar, the first thing I'm going to do is, let's say I'm a supervisor logging into JASCI. The first thing I want to look at is our snapshots so we could see what's going on today. We can see how many open orders we have, how many we've shipped today. We can see how many are in trouble, how many we've downloaded today. So you can see I've got about 31 orders out there. Most of them I downloaded today. And we could also see, details about our putaways and locations and things like that. So right off the bat, when I'm looking at the order snapshot, I see that I have five in trouble. So I want to take a look at those, right? And if I click on this, I can actually see which sales orders those are. So if we just wanted to quickly grab the sales order ID or the work control number or see what date these were created, I could get all of this right out of our uh, dashboard and reporting tool. Now, since we have trouble, we see some different orders. I want to kind of look into these a little bit further. So, if we go under our outbound tab and go under trouble and go to our view trouble orders, this is an area that we have for when orders come into JASCI and there's some sort of hold or some sort of allocation issue or something about the customer where we don't want this order to be picked yet. Or maybe not even allocated yet, then what we'll do is we'll trap it in our view trouble orders area until it gets resolved by either inventory that's put away or replenished, or a hold is removed, or you've decided to pull it out of trouble. So if we click on that menu option, we can see here's our five orders that are in trouble. We could see their sales order IDs. We actually see an order hold on this one at the bottom. This one says hold for customer service. You can actually set up your own order hold codes. You can also set up your own trouble reason codes that you'd like to enter. But for all of these, it's telling us the reason that it's in trouble is because we did not have inventory for it. So not only does this one have an order hold on it, but we wouldn't be able to allocate all of the inventory for it because we've already attempted to, realized we couldn't, and that's why we put it on hold for customer service to reach out to that customer. Now, this one is probably a larger format order. Yes, it is. So this one is calling for 20 of one product and 20 of another product. And it's telling us that we only have eight that we can reserve for this right now out of this available product, this SP2. So looking at this, I could say, okay, we do we have any other orders that this product that we have kind of reserved for this order? Can we resolve any other orders by unallocating this line? You can see it has an allocation from this location. So if we go back to our trouble orders and we look at some of these other ones, I could click the detail button and I could see what's on there. So this is a single. This is going to be order for one item of this one product. And if we were able to replenish that or put away new inventory or unallocate another line that we're not ready to issue the pick yet, that's how we can satisfy this. In fact, if we click the inventory button for this product, we can see all of the locations. We also have a product image up there that kind of helps you know what you're working with. So here we can see in our prime area, that's my main each picking area. I have a total quantity of 13, but I also have outbound of 13, which means that that's why this went into trouble is I'm not going to have enough available inventory for it. However, I do see that I have inbound quantity of 20. So I either have a put away or a replenishment that's going to be bringing 20 more of this SKU into this location um, or into this area. It's probably the same location. It could be multiple locations though. And if we wanted to see that at a deeper level, we could click the inventory button and we can see that it is in fact one location. So that tells me that I could go find my put away team and say, hey, make sure that you go and take care of this open put away. In fact, if I go to my open put aways lookup, I can see that I have one here. And if we click on the detail, and by the way, we can filter by SKU for all of these things. Um, we can see here, it is in fact that put away for that product. We have 20 of them. So we probably want to go tell someone that, this put away is, we can release some orders if you go and put this away, right? If we go back to our trouble screen that we were on before, another method that we could do is also to click the unallocate button on this one, which would free up more inventory for us to be able to release these orders from trouble. As we put items away and replenish them or unallocate, JASCI is going to automatically release those picks. We also have the option if you wanted to release a pick, you could do it as partial. So if you know it's going to be a few days until you get that container with that SKU, and you want to go ahead and ship part of the order out and then ship the rest of it later, you can do this ship partial. Shipped complete is going to make sure that we can allocate and pick everything before we release the order to be picked. And then ship available, which is less commonly used, that's what you would dictate if you want to back order anything that we can't allocate and just pick and ship what we can. So, looking at this, I could say, okay, let's go ahead and perform that put away and then release these picks. Or we could say, let's unallocate this one and let's unallocate this entire line right here. All right. So then if we go back, we can then try to release one of these. And what we're doing here is, just checking if we are going to be able to have the inventory or not. So by clicking that release button, it is going to go ahead and release it for us. This will also kind of on a reoccurring basis release everything from trouble that it is able to. So that's just an example of, how we can check in on orders that are in trouble and kind of alleviate the trouble for them. We have two types of trouble, by the way. What we just monitored was kind of before the picking process, where we're resolving inventory and allocation issues. And then we also have the trouble station, which is more for catching things during the picking process. Any exceptions that occur, you drop them to the trouble station and have similar methodologies for resolving them from there. Um, so let's go ahead and now look at our gravity waveless work management. So I'm going to go to my reporting profile and go into gravity, and we're going to monitor what we have going on in our facility. So this is an omni-channel facility that I'm in. So I do have a lot of e-commerce flowing through here, but I also occasionally do case and pallet picks, which you can see I have 9 case picks to perform. I have 15 discrete picks and 17 singles. Discretes and singles are really like the orders. Discrete means that you're going to be picking that order all into one tote, and that tote could be on a picking cart, and you bring your picking cart around on a pick path to pick multiple totes at a time. So as you hit each location, you're going to be putting items in the appropriate totes to build out these discrete orders. For singles, what we're going to do is have a tote where you're batching multiple single orders together so that we can pick everything into one or, a few totes. And then you bring those totes to the pack station, and as they grab the item out of the tote and start to pack it, it associates it with the order that you're going to be shipping out. We also manage put walls within JASCI. I don't have a put wall set up right now in this environment. We're just doing a basic e-commerce singles and discretes. However, if you do have a lot of foot travel for your discretes, that could be a really good recommendation would be to leverage JASCI's put wall capabilities, where we batch the picks to be more, just grabbing more items at a time and bringing them over to a put wall where we then sort them out to the put wall. So anyway, coming back to this in Gravity, I have a profile for just my different orders. So I could see orders that created case picks that are treated as discrete, that are treated as single. I could also monitor by sales channel, for example. So if we have orders that are tied to various sales channels, I just have 3 examples here, like Amazon, Target, and Walmart orders. As they come down into JASCI, you can feed that sales channel data with the order, and then we can have different prioritizations for those different types of orders. It's also good just to be able to visualize the different sales channels and the amount of picks that you have. Maybe you have different SLAs for each of those channels. Usually Amazon is going to be, pretty highly prioritized. But this gives us the opportunity to see by channel. Let's say that maybe we're in deep water with Target or something, or, there's some sort of reason that we want to boost these picks to the front of the line. This is also a nice piece of JASCI is that you can take the super priority and apply a new priority point value for all of those picks in that profile. And now those are going to be at the front of the line when somebody signs into a picking cart and it's going and figuring out which picks that we want to cluster to them or batch to them. It's going to be considering those higher prioritized orders first. You can also do it by promise delivery date, and have both priority point value and promise delivery date, making the best decisions for what picks are issued to your pickers. Which, if you think about it, what we just did here was we decided to make a change to the picks that we're sending out there um, for for all of the different types of orders we have. Usually, this is an activity that takes a while from the supervisor to figure out, okay, who's going to be picking what, batching out different and waving out different picks to people based on that channel, or maybe it's by the carrier, or some other metric that you use. Instead of having to spend time and effort and labor doing that, JASCI's automatically guiding it based on your priority point values, which are already set up. And then Gravity gives you that control to be able to, hold on 1 second. Sorry, someone's calling me. Um, that gives you the ability to reprioritize anything that you'd like to, whether it's an entire profile or you can come into the um, work and then you can actually force a particular order to be next. So if you didn't want to, reprioritize an entire profile and it's just one particular pick or one particular order, Gravity gives you that capability, which is why it's a great supervisor tool. You can view all of your different picks and orders and work that's out there by different metrics, whether it's just by the work type or order type. You could see it by sales channel. Maybe I just want to look into some of my wholesale picks that I have. Or another great profile I always recommend to people is a profile that's monitoring everything that's systematically assigned, which means that has begun working on this in the system. And this is important to monitor because if you see assigned work to somebody that's not there anymore, not on the shift, or maybe they got sick, or maybe they were let go, whatever it may be. You want to make sure that that doesn't get lost between the cracks. So you're going to be able to view the assigned picks and reassign them if you'd like to. So I'm big on gravity. This is kind of an area that I like to focus in on first. As I log into JASCI and I'm looking at all the orders that are out there, I always like to hit the trouble orders and I always like to hit gravity and see what my day looks like. So next, now that we've looked at what's going on out there and we've reprioritized what we need to, maybe we hop in and we help, get some of the picking done. So we'll shift gears here, shift roles from a supervisor using gravity and looking at trouble, and we'll go ahead and sign into JASCI on the mobile device. So we'll go ahead and log into our picking since we're going to do a pick, and we'll go into our cluster pick workflow. So cluster picking, if you've seen our webinars before, this is one of my favorite workflows in JASCI. It asks you two main things. It asks you where you're picking and what you're picking with. And that helps it know what you're eligible to pick. So as you sign into a work zone, it's going to know, okay, these are the picks coming from that zone. So it creates a pool of picks for you. And then when you sign in with a cart, it's going to know how that cart is configured, and it's going to basically consider all of the totes that are there, and it's going to know what can go into those totes based on size, based on picking type or constraints. Um, and we'll go ahead and sign into a zone and a cart. All right, so now it's going to go ahead and bring us on our pick path. All right, so now that we're signed into a cart, um, and if you want to see what the cart looks like, I'll go to our cart's maintenance. We can go into our picking cart. This is also a great tool for supervisors to use so you can monitor who's systematically tied to all of the different carts that you have. So if we look at this one that's currently tied to me and we go to edit, we can see that it's got 5 different totes on it that all have an order that's being picked to each of these totes. Normally, you'll see maybe anywhere from like 6 to 12 totes on a cart if you're going to be picking discrete. If you're going to be picking batches of singles, really you only need one cart slot because you could just put everything onto that cart and pack it out by that cart. But if you also want to use totes for your batches of singles, you're more than welcome to. You can set up your different types of containers. You can set them up to be the shipping boxes. You can set them up to be totes that have particular work types that they cater to. You can also set up a cart to be pre-assigned for a type of work, which is kind of what I've done here with all the discrete containers. I might as well have put discrete up here in the work type pre-assigned. So let's go ahead and pick with this cart. We're going to go to the first location, which is the A1-01. We're going to get to the location, and it's then going to tell us what product we're picking. We can also see that we're picking 4 of them, right? So if we scan our product to confirm that we're picking it, we also have the cut button in case we don't have the product there and we have to pick a different product. So we're going to hit cut, and
Pick
I'm
one.
sorry, we're gonna enter to pick, not hit cut. And it's telling us that we're picking a total of 4. However, we're picking one, and you might have heard that audio call out. We're picking one into cart slot 3. So we're gonna scan the LPN on cart slot 3. I'm not actually in a warehouse, so I'm just gonna type it. But you can see cart slot 3 has a LPN there called tote 12. That's what I'm gonna type in and enter. Usually this is represented by a barcode on the tote, so it's very easy. You just scan the tote that's in slot 3.
Pick one.
And now it's telling us to pick one and put it into slot 1. So we're going to scan the barcode on slot 1 and put one in there.
Pick one.
And we're going to put one into slot 2 as well. So this is a high demand item, right? And there's multiple orders that we're now picking right from this one location because several of these orders have this SKU from this location in it. So it's making sure that we're kind of saving our time by not having to go back and forth to locations all the time. We're stopping at this location and putting stuff in every slot that has a product to it from here.
Pick one.
All right, and our last one, cart slot 4. We're going to put this in. Um, I wish my LPNs were a little bit more in sequence there, but it's okay. So let's go ahead and enter our next location. So it's going to bring us on our pick path, and we're just going to be picking these products.
Pick two.
We're picking 6 total, but we're putting 2 into cart slot 1. So
Pick one.
we'll scan that. Then we're going to scan our next slot and put 1 in there. So you get the concept here. It's basically guiding you of how many to physically grab and which slot to put them
Pick
into.
one.
All right, so we'll do,
Pick two.
and 2 of them are going into slot 5. All right, so then we're going to go to our next location. This should be the last location on our pick path here. I think we're getting all the orders together. We're picking 3 items of this product, SP5, special
Pick
sample
three.
product 5. So we're going to pick 3 of them and put them into cart slot 3. All right, and now we've finished our pick path. So it's saying, hey, take all of these to your discrete pack station. Now, based on your setting for the cart, you'll either drop off the entire cart or you'll just drop off the totes from the cart. And then when you go to use this cart again, it's going to bring you through to assign your totes to your cart slots. So you basically grab an empty tote, scan it to assign it, grab another empty tote, scan that tote, and put it on the next slot. So let's go ahead and drop this off and let's pack out one of these orders as well. Um, so if we come on to our full screen
Hey Joe,
and we go in,
we have a question in the chat.
oh yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if you're able to see that, but John's
No.
asked, does the cancel cut feature have reason code capability?
Um, no, no, what we would do is the cut button, what it's first thing it's going to do is flag the location with a location check. That location check is going to uh, basically put that location on a hold so we don't allocate any more picks from there. And someone from the inventory control team can go to that location and they can complete the location check, which is going to involve a cycle count or hitting the OK button. And then that'll free up the location again for more allocations and more picks. And what it's also going to do is when we hit that cut button, it's going to look for other locations that we can pick that product out of. If we can't pick that product out of location, then it's going to have us bring that tote to the trouble station where we can process the trouble from there. Reason codes we have for things like inventory adjustments, um, and then also on work, you can, if you're identifying damage or something like that, we can put reason codes. A cut is really just us saying, hey, we're not able to pick the product there at this location. But yes, JASCI does use reason codes throughout the rest of the system, but the cut is typically going to be geared towards just, confirming if we were able to pick that from that location or not, and it keeps the picker moving on to the next location. We do have other functions. For example, if you're, the last one, picking the last item out of a location, you can confirm, do a double check to confirm that that location is empty. And if you say that it's not empty, then we'll issue a location check. By the way, we've done a webinar on our inventory management piece on cycle counting controls and location checks. So I highly recommend checking out that webinar. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and do our packing. So we're going to go to our this one. We're going to use pack scan product because we picked some totes with discrete orders. So pack scan product is going to be asking us to pick and or sorry, scan each product that we're putting into a box, and we can declare how many boxes it is. And then it's also doing that kind of extra verification step at the packing screen. So let's go ahead and click into that menu option, and we're going to go into our, I think this is my workbench. Yep. So we'll sign into our workbench. Workbench is tied to particular label printers, scales, behaviors that you want the packer to be able to have, the different attributes of that, pack station, what they're allowed to do or not, if you want to give them the ability to change address, things like that. Or maybe, you have it hooked up to a polybag machine for, let's say you're doing a lot of singles. What we would do then is actually pull the product dimensions rather than having you use like a box or and like verify the weight. It basically just pulls that information from the products if you have it set for using product dims for like a poly bag. But let's go ahead and scan one of our totes. I think the first one was uh, let's scan one of these. I couldn't remember what totes I had. So this one, the tote 15. Let's go ahead and see what we're packing. So we've got sample product one and sample product three, two total items, one of each of them, and we could see that one of each is in the tote. We did not cut any, and so far we haven't packed them yet. So if I scan this SP3, what it's going to do is consider that packed, and now we can see in the quantity processed, it's got a value of one, and it's going to kind of sort what still needs to be packed up to the top, so you don't have to constantly dig through if it's a lot of items. So now if this was a large item and we couldn't fit the other item in the box, we can hit this carton full button, and that's gonna allow us to create a multi-box shipment for the order. So we'll have two different labels, and then we'll also be able to tie both to the order and send the shipment confirmations up to the host system, reflecting both tracking numbers. Um, let's go ahead and put them both into one box. So we're going to scan our other product. And now we can go ahead and hit the carton full button. This is going to bring us to our ship screen. Now, shipping in JASCI, you're going to see this screen where we can choose from a weight scale, or we can bring it in from the product dimensions, or we can manually enter it like I've done here. We can have it automatically pick the best possible box size for this, or we can choose a different box size if we want to. Orders can also include the box if there's a particular like box that you do know you need to ship this order out in. And then we can also influence that by carrier that it's going to. Now I have this order going to just using my default carrier and service levels, but in a moment I'll show you a little bit more about connecting to the different shippers out there. So you can have a seamless integration with rate shopping, with tracking number creation, with label creation. You can also see some buttons down here, special box size. Maybe our box is bulging, or we kind of custom made a box to fit this particular product. This will allow us to manually enter the DIMs instead of using our 6-inch by 6-inch by 6-inch box, which I probably should name it something else besides 666. But we also have our rate shop button. So if you want to allow for rate shopping to be done at the pack station, we can either have that automatically performed every time, or you can have the packer choose that they want to rate shop, and it'll find the best rate. Or you can even have it rate shop across all of your different carriers and service levels, and they can choose the best possible rate. And that's why we have this rate shop by service button, because maybe you still want to do rate shopping, but you don't want to compromise the promised delivery date. You want to you rate shop within what will get it there on time. So let's go ahead and process the shipment, and that brings us back to pack out another tote that we have at the pack station. So that was kind of an overview of what, say, a supervisor would do as they're coming into JASCI and seeing what orders are out there, looking at the trouble orders, using Gravity, and releasing orders from trouble. And then we also showed an example of kind of what a picker and a packer goes through in an e-commerce operation. And this is a real basic one. If you wanted to get more complex, as I mentioned, we have the put wall capabilities. But just, even in our simple setup for JASCI, you're saving so much time and labor with some of the things that I showed you there. So Gravity cuts out a ton of time from having to distribute your picks to your different employees and figuring out what needs to be picked first. It's going to all happen automatically based on preset priorities and reprioritizations that you do within Gravity. Um, and then also when it comes to our cart configuration and our pick path, it didn't look like much there because it just brought us right into the pick path. But what it's doing is as we sign into that picking cart in real time, it's figuring out the best path, the best items, the best orders, everything to cluster and batch to that user based on what they're picking with and where they're picking. And it does that all in real time. So again, it's taking a lot of the effort and labor out of having to dictate who's picking what and when, and going through all your orders at the beginning of the day and sorting things. It saves a ton of time, money, and energy. Um, so one last thing, as I mentioned before, I did want to show a little bit of bonus thing here on setting up our shippers. So I'm going to go into our integrations area, and by the way, we have a really cool import tool for if in the event you need to upload locations, LPNs, products, orders, really any data that you want to import into JASCI. But what we're going to go into today is this carrier integration. If I wanted to set up my different carriers to seamlessly integrate based on my account or whatever account number that I plug in there, we then associate that just like I had that default carrier and service level. You can associate your carriers and service levels with the actual integration to that carrier. So if we were going to go set up our, FedEx, for example, um, we can click into one of those and it'll bring us to the page where we're going to set up our account information and bring us through all of that. All right. So, and now we're at time here, so we really appreciate everybody joining today. We're going to be doing more of these webinars as we go through. Eventually, I'll be doing one more on the wholesale and B2B side where we're picking to pallets and loading trucks and shipping the trucks out. We'll also do more of like a one that's just solely focused on 3PLs and monitoring different clients of a 3PL. We'll do some where it's inbound activities. So we urge you all to keep joining these webinars and ask questions as you have them. And otherwise, I hope you all have a great rest of the day. And please reach out to JASCI if you have any questions about this webinar, want to see a demonstration, or just want to learn more about what we have to offer. So thanks everyone for joining. Have a great day and have a great weekend.